It's dessert.
Check.
It's a dessert. Everybody in the room.
Come try it.
Well, we're here, everyone. 2020. We're taking this round and round. Started off with the global pandemic. Then there were some murder hornets. Carol Baskin. In short, everyone here had a viable, real excuse to not come to the wedding. None of you used it. You're all here. So I really, really appreciate that. You guys didn't have to come, and you all did. So thank you very much. We're not going to take too much of your time tonight. I'm Nico, by the way. Nice to meet you. Josh's older brother. This is Matt, his older brother. We're going to tell you a couple stories, and we'll get this thing over with.
Yes, I know probably half this room is thinking, wait, Josh has brothers? Despite our family hallway and being born prior to social media, Josh is not an only child. So, Nico and I have been around. We were actually, believe it or not, we were a pretty big deal until about 1992. Just right there. So, Nico and I are, I think our differences are well documented, but if I were to describe Josh to some of you out there that maybe aren't too familiar, the best way to describe him is, I always think of, when you're taking a test and you have option A, B, C, and D is all the above. That's our brother Josh. He'll have it all. He'll have it all, you'll give him 6 options and he says yes. So this kid, he needs restrictions, not options. That's the best way that I can describe our brother Josh.
Well, that's well put. All of you love indeed. And in the interest of not taking too much time, let's go back to 1992. I was on recess. Matt was reading. Naturally. We were both in school, in our elements. And the principal called over the loudspeaker, we got out of school. Something was going on. Josh was being born. And that's when I was like, this kid is a big deal. We're getting out of school. You don't just get out of school for nothing. So we got out of school to go see Josh. Then he came home and kind of the hubbub of the new baby died down after a little while, or so we thought. Then it's time to go to elementary school, and they built a brand new elementary school for him. He never goes to the one we went to. Seemed like a big deal, still. Then it's time for him to go to high school, they built a brand new high school for him. We're like, oh, no. I guess when I look back on those coincidences or those things happening, it makes sense because he's the kind of guy, and Matt alluded to it, he doesn't need to travel. It's not even the road less traveled. He blazes his own path. He don't care if there's roads over here or over here. And we try to make him care, and maybe we'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. But he blazes his own path, and he's just a force of nature. I think that's really a good way to describe him. One other story that I have, I can't leave it out, is when I went to visit him at Lutheran College. I went by myself, and I went to watch him play a game. He was injured, so he didn't play the game, and that ended up being a blessing in disguise because I got to spend a lot more time with him when we were out there. We watched the game, had some beers with the bros in the dorm, kind of did the thing, the tour up to Cora, we went to T-Box, had a good dinner, went back to the dorm, and played some Madden. I don't know, took my shoes off, looked at the clock, it's midnight. I said, that was a good day. Josh says, what do you want to do tonight? So I looked at the clock again. I said, it's midnight. The day's over. And he goes, no, man. They're going to have a Halloween party at Roscoe's. What the hell? It's midnight. He said, no, trust me, it'll be good. And I said, okay. So we got in the car, go to Roscoe's. He was right, there was a line outside of Roscoe's to get in. And I was like, geez. And it was October in Decorah, so it was not warm. Josh said, no, we don't got to wait in the line. And I said, yeah, we're going to wait in the line. He says, no, we can just get right in. I said, Josh, I don't know what you do on your own time, but we're going to wait in the line. So we get in the back of the line, And reminder, it's October in Decorah. So then I said, Josh, can we really get in? And he says, yeah, come on. So we go in, and the guy at the front, he's like, hey, Josh, what's going on? Who's this? Oh, it's my brother. He's from California. Oh, yeah, you guys are good. Wave us right in, and that's not the end of it. There's a table and a full pitcher of beer and a cup full of beer. Hey, Josh, come on over. I said, Josh, this is not how life works. I'm like, man, in Memphis with Elvis. Jesus. But that trip, in a lot of ways, sums up this guy for me. Probably the part that I think of most when I think of my baby brother. I lived in the same house for 8 years, and we came home and took care of him every day. Changed his dirty ass diapers. Washed his chest to make sure he was breathing for the first weeks. Did everything with him. Literally, everything. He was a brother that my parents have been telling us about, but I didn't know he was going to be my best friend too. And I love him to death. So now, my original best friend can tell you some more.
The age gap is pretty dramatic between us and Josh, so we kind of, unwillingly, we were kind of placed into a mentor, brother, parent role for Josh. And so, I'm thinking to myself, as I'm getting old enough to learn, thinking, man, that's a great advantage for Josh. When I was growing up, all I had was, he could have bounced out of his house. That was terrible. So, geez, man, that's great. Yeah, Josh will come to me, ask me questions, and I'll be at the ready. But obviously, everybody here knows Josh well enough that he's not taking advice from anyone, brothers or anybody. He's more of a, I'll just kind of do it myself and see what happens. And that kind of guy. So, I think Nico and I, all through Josh's childhood, we're kind of just, we're just saying, wait till, the real world comes in and hits him kind of in the face. Wait till he gets to middle school. Yeah, it really gets kind of a taste of, how things work, and, he just plays through that. And then, wait till he gets to high school, and wait till he gets to college. Then it'll hit him, and everything will catch up to him, and he'll be like, wow, this life is really hard. And then, it never hits him. Yeah, wait to get married. But he just plays us through all of it. So that's just, we would love to give Josh advice, but he wouldn't take it, and so he never did. I recall the memory of first learning about Josh. We were in JCPenney in the Greeley Mall, which coincidentally, that's how a lot of my childhood memories begin. In JCPenney in the Greeley Mall with our mother. So Sherry's doing her thing, Nico and I are fighting clothes racks, playing tag, hide and go seek. And I'm sure we ran out of options, and we're like, Sherry, what's the deal here? What's going on? And she's in the baby section, and we say, Mom, what are you doing? Well, I'm shopping for baby clothes. Yeah, we see that. Why? We don't know any babies. What are we doing? We've been here for 2 hours. And so we're getting on her a little bit, and she finally kind of snaps and says, yeah, I'm shopping for baby clothes. My baby. And Nico and I kind of look at each other and, what? Your baby? So that's how we learned to Josh. And again, that's where our run ended, kind of 1992. That's kind of where we were chopped liver. So as I mentioned earlier, Josh did not want to take advice, so I kind of took it upon myself. When he got to high school, I got a position coaching at high school. So it wasn't optional anymore. You have to take my advice, period. And the way I thought of it was, someone has to be on the bench, on the sideline, to be like, dude, you're not that good. Just calm down. You're not as good as you think you are. Okay, and I want to do that on the sideline because that's a full-time job. To tell Josh was not that good. It's a full-time job. So, in all seriousness, though, got to watch Josh and coach Josh in basketball and baseball, and obviously a lot of very good memories of watching Josh, to be there, whatever the occasion called for, to pick him up after a tough loss, or to pat him on the back after a big victory, and to watch him grow up was special, but to have a front row seat to it was real special. So those 4 years were very near and dear to my heart. So, but life goes on, and Luther College was recruiting Josh, and I don't know if any of you know this, but we weren't very high on Luther College. They were pretty active recruiting Josh, and I think Josh was kind of, he's at that age where he didn't take it very seriously, but I told him, Luther's been very, very consistent communicating with you and showing an interest in you, and I told him that, at the very least, we need to go pay him a visit to kind of thank him for staying in touch. So it wasn't much more than that. Just kind of do him a favor for reaching out and, give him the courtesy of going to see the school. And I got the pleasure to take that trip with Josh, and it was just that. Hey guys, thanks for your interest. We're not interested. Have a nice day. But we kind of got there, and a pretty big decision in somebody's life, and we didn't talk about it a lot, and we kind of just toured the campus. It was pouring rain the whole time, and at the end of it, Josh was kind of like very nonchalant. Yeah, I'm new to school here. So untold amount of debt later. I'd say it probably worked out for him okay. So.
Yeah, I'd say so, because look who's sitting next to him. Emily's very special. I know everyone here knows that, but I was trying to think of when the first time I met Emily was, so I asked my wife. And she said, you met her at Josh's graduation. And I said, no, I remember that. I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember all about it. I knew her then. And she looked at me like wives look at me. And I said, oh, okay, I guess I did it. So then I thought back to Josh's graduation, and I remember our whole family was there. There was a Conway tornado going on. People weren't getting places on time, but Emily said, Josh, gotta look out. Josh, gotta be here for pictures. Josh, there's dinner. She was running stuff. And I remember that. I remember it like it was yesterday. And then I remember the ceremony. I was talking to Gary and Susie like I've known them my whole life. And I really think that says it all. It is the true testament of whether someone or something is a perfect fit is when you can't remember what life is like before. So that's how I think of it.
Yes, I remember that day as well too, and just Gary and Susie just looking over at them to see if they had headed for the hills yet, or they actually had the popcorn out though, so I was like, okay, it's gonna be okay. They're just keeping following with everybody else, but no, like Nico said, it was just kind of seamless from the start. So I'll let you guys decide if that's romantic or annoying, whatever you guys want to feel for that. But I'll close it with just one more story. It happened a couple weeks ago at the bachelor party. Nico and I were playing a game of pool downstairs, and we come up, and Josh and AP are arguing about a beer pong technicality. And 45 minutes in, somebody looks at Nico and I and says, "You guys never taught your brother how to lose." And we think about it, and we're like, "No, we didn't." You're right, we didn't. And we're sorry for that. And anybody in here, I'm sure, can attest to that, whether you knowingly or unknowingly got into any competition with Josh. He doesn't know how to lose. So you may have left thinking you won, but believe me, Josh doesn't see it that way. So we had to laugh about that because we're like, no, we didn't teach him that. We're sorry, Emily. You're going to have to live with that, and that's on us. But my hope is that we did teach him something. I hope that we did teach him something, and whatever we didn't teach him, I hope that him and Emily can learn together in his marriage. So we love you.